I'm Misha here, and just felt like bringing out a shotgun, so why not the Molot VEPR12? Pretty standard version here, 2 3/4 or 3-inch. This has the 18.5-inch barrel, has the Russian muzzle device, muzzle brake or flash hider, whatever you prefer on it. Standard handguards. Yeah, I really haven't changed it much, and this is the version that came with the side folding stock and mobile rubber cheek piece. Of course, it's, well, based on the Kalashnikov, but more the RPK than the actual AK. It does have the extended safety on this side, and another one on that side. Both hold open and all that good stuff. And this is the Shorty 5-round mag these most often come with. So, we only have typical kind of value pack, I don't know, Winchester, Federal, Walmart ammo. You never know if the VEPR12 is or isn't going to run with it this day. So let's find out. And of course, as always, like, share, subscribe, and Patreon, yada yada. So here we have the 3 factory sized mags. Although really only one is used by the Russian police special forces. And this is actually one of their kind of thigh carriers for 2 of them, although these will generally fit in standard Kalashnikov pouches, though you'll really need the 40-round RPK version to cram her in there. So let's, you know, try out each size. Alright, VEPR12 with the 5. So a brief history of why the VEPR12 exists, and one reason I think this is neat, it's not just because it is based on the Kalashnikov system, although that's pretty cool, but it was designed for police and military use, not just civilian. A lot of your shotguns based on rifles, I'm thinking like the AR-15 stuff, they're really just for the civilian market. That's not to ding them, they can be cool and fun. And this one definitely was designed with civilian target competition sales in Russia in mind, but it actually started off as more of a military project. And even though we think of the VEPR12 as a Molot product, it actually started off at Izhmash, formerly Izhevsk, today Kalashnikov concerned, who make the Saiga 12 shotgun, which we did a video on comparing it with the Lynx about 1.5 years ago, so check that out if you want. Now with Federal.
The good stuff.
Yeah.
Just kidding. That's running a lot better.
Now that Federal and the SGL. The first work began at Izhmash, and then it was transferred over to Molot for various production reasons, and they really brought it home about 25 years ago. And they do make several variations, but all of them are built on the 1.5 RPK style receiver, Bold Strunion. To be fair, the Saiga 12 is also built on a heavier receiver. They all have chrome lined barrels. About the shortest one is about 12.5 inches. The standard barrel is 16.9. This is an 18.5, not counting the Russian flash hider muzzle device. That's just for US law. They also do make a 20.6 version for Russian use over there, and I think there's even a 26-inch version for competition, so way out there. And of course you can get rails and widgets and whatnot. This railed top cover does have a retaining pin in the back. It is hinged in the front so that it can more or less maintain at least shotgun 0. And then we have a pick rail on top. It's polymer. You do have RPK style windage iron sights here, whatever that's worth. Not the longest sight radius in the world. This does not have an adjustable gas system like a Saiga. It's just kind of a standard AK style, although it does have a puck up here. These are modified RPK handguards. They don't have the heat shield so that the barrel will fit. And we do have this side folding stock, which is generally based on the RPKS 74 style, RPK 74M. Yeah, this isn't gonna hurt at all. Honestly, not as bad as I thought it'd be. And to release it, there's a small lever in here. Again, this is really taken from the RPK folder. It's very stiff. I've had this gun and put, if not 1,000 rounds through it by now, close to it, and it's still tight as can be. It's a different system than you'll find on the AK-74M, the AK-100 series, but it's, you know, similar inspiration. And because of the side folding stock, we do have this extended shelf safety here, but we also do have the safety on this side, but it is extremely stiff. I should, and a lot of people do, kind of put like rubber over it, like a rubber coating. I really should do that because it is just sheet steel. And you typically only see the left side selector on side folding models for whatever reason, at least here in America. And of course, we do have a magwell in that whole system that separates it from, you know, the Saiga. There are Saigas that do have magwells, but for the most part, they're the rock and lock style. And it has several advantages. As you see here, it does have a last round hold open, and it works very well, and it has a pretty easy to use release right here. Again, it's a little bit of a sharp steel piece, but even on an empty mag, it's not too shabby. We have a standard AK style release, although it's extended to work with the magwell. And what's nice is if you do want to hold open without a mag in, there is a manual control, small button here you can press up on. And you can either press this button or, of course, just do that and it releases. And another nice thing about the magwell, the mags are a straight-in insert, like an AR. And the thing about a Saiga, when you have it with a fully loaded mag, you have that kind of compression when you're rocking it in. With the straight-in mag, you still might feel some resistance, but these seem like they have a little more built in, and that it works better. Anyone who's got one, anyone who's tried it with the Saiga, you know what I'm talking about. And then finally, we have this quite cool, oversized, ergonomic Molot pistol grip. One reason I wanted to bring a 12 gauge out, a friend now who I met, who's actually my main contractor and main builder for the cabin, told me a while back his favorite things to shoot are shotguns, or at least among them. And with Fox being there as well, I thought I need to bring something that Fox enjoys. So this, you know, the VEPR12 seemed like it was a good cross section. Now let Jess give it a go.
You ready?
Yep.
Cool. Hell yeah.
What do you think of that?
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, it's fun.
So that was Jess of Tree Haven TV. He's on YouTube, but he's mostly on TikTok because even though he's a couple of years older than me, sometimes I think he is even more of a kid at heart than I am. But no, he said he really enjoyed it. I promised him next time we would bring out a more traditional shotgun. I'm thinking the Ithaca Model 37. What do you think? Now, these started coming into the country 2011, 2012, and the first ones were fixed stockers. And what was hilarious about the stocks they put on these, it was a standard square rear trunnion. It was literally whatever stock they could find on the floor of the factory, usually unfinished blim wood, because they knew what was up. But what was neat is they had pistol grips. Yeah, that was around the time that the ATF decided that pistol grips were legal as a sporting feature on shotguns. There was this whole big flap in 2010 into the early part of 2011 over the Saiga that they thought they were going to be banned from import. So there's a big run. Not only were they not banned, they actually were allowed pistol grips. Now, rifles are still not allowed, but shotguns are. Now, they did not come in with this device on them, but they came in with a threaded barrel. And again, It was considered a sporting feature, a threaded barrel on a shotgun, not on a rifle, because it was for chokes. And the mags they shipped with, of course these were all single stack, were 5-rounders to kind of comply with U.S. law. So they had that fixed stock on there because the people will put whatever. But it was not long before side folders started shipping in. How did they get them in? They simply put a little blob of tack weld. You can even see some evidence on mine here. The earliest ones, it was just a small little bloop. And literally all I had to do was press it in and just kind of slap it in, and it just folded over. So I'm sorry, the weld broke. I think the original batch, they just put the weld over the paint because it is a, paint over phosphate finish. Later ones, yeah, they got a little more serious about welding it. Also, you should know that later on they did import a version that had a stock like this, but it was literally fixed. It didn't have the folding mechanism. So if you buy one of these today and you see this style stock on it, double check to see if it has the lever on the side, because folders do go for more. But back when these were coming in, folders were pretty much the same price as the fixed stocks, maybe 50, 100 bucks more at most. So once the VEPR12 started coming in the very beginning, we could only get the 5-round mags. But unlike with the Saigas, which it took a long time to get their 8-round mags, the 8-round mag VEPR12s came in quite quickly, and they were a lot cheaper. Now, they're not as cheap as a rifle because this has some serious spring. The factory mags have metal reinforcing, but they were almost half the price, at least 2/3 the price of a Saiga mag. Now let Fox try the 8.
She ran real bigly.
No stovepipe at the end?
No, there's nothing at the end other than sweet dreams.
Some US mags are alright. They are. But this is one of those buy once, cry once. And even today, VEPR mags, even though we're 7 years past the sanction, they're still under $100 for brand new 8-rounders. And for the longest time from Russia, those are the only 2 capacities we would get. And Fox wants to try the extended 10-rounders. Bum, bum, bum.
Held right open.
But VEPR12s don't run light, low brass, right?
Yeah, no, they don't at all. They're pieces of crap.
Exactly.
They hate it.
And then, a few years later, we would get the extended 10-rounder. And I think Molot made these because they saw American companies doing 10 and 12 round. I'm not saying they didn't start using them in Russia too, but this is definitely a mag made for the U.S. market. And it's been said that essentially what they did, take it for what you will, is, when they made these 5-rounders, they basically cut down an 8. Just use the same molds. Well, they use the cut down part, the bottom piece, from the leftover, and they grafted it to an 8-round mag, creating the 10. Notice it's got a more noticeable curve to it as well. But because they are factory mags, they do work well. So you get a couple extra rounds. But, well, I guess you could use it as a monopod. So you can use it as a monopod. All she wrote. It's hanging down there. Now, you can get larger capacities, 12 rounds, but those are typically your Surefire, your SGMs made in America. And you can get drums, but over in Russia, at least for military use, Molot has never made drums. There might be an aftermarket, private company that makes drums now. But back to the 8, because that's really the standard, and it's the right size. It really is. Big enough, but still more maneuverable. Again, the one that Russia uses in their military Either has the 16.9-inch barrel or the 12.5, just kind of depending. This one, for legal purposes, is 18.5. I've thought about cutting it down 1.6 inches and then permanently attaching the muzzle device. I still might do that. I think that'd be kind of fun. But otherwise, I've eschewed putting extra rails and widgets and whatnots on here. I like it the way it is, and it runs well the way it is. This is a Russian RPK 2-hook sling for what it is. It's a comfortable gun. There's a little bit of a rubber recoil pad. The rubber cheek piece is nice. Everything about this feels solid. And for several years, these came in. In fact, there was a time we did a video years ago encouraging folks to buy these because of the price, because of competition, because there were multiple importers, dropped to $7.99 retail. But of course, things don't last. Of course, Izhmash, Kalashnikov Concern, as it was recently renamed, was sanctioned in the summer of 2014 over the whole Crimea situation. And then Molot, as a company, was added to the list of sanctioned companies in the summer of 2017, again, over international things. There wasn't exactly a gun ban because the list had dozens upon dozens of companies, eventually about 150 Russian companies. Only like 6 or so were firearms. A lot of them were banking and energy companies, petroleum, gas, that kind of thing. It just kind of got caught up in politics, and therefore the last of these came in 2017. And since then, they have climbed in value and are technically, banned guns now. So these are technically pre-banned. I haven't actually priced out VEPR12s in a while. I do know the side folders being a smidgen more than the fixed stalkers, but they are a lot of fun. They truly are. This is from the first batch, as I mentioned. I've never had any desire to sell it. There's an argument to be made for the Saiga 12. It has purposes too. It really does. It's lighter. It's more familiar on the AK. Mostly being lighter, and that has a lot of follow-on effects. But of course, the big thing about the VEPR12 is the whole mag well, all of its benefits, cheaper mags. And I can't even say it's more or less reliable, more or less flexible with ammo. Its gas system is not adjustable, so if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The Saiga at least does have an adjustable plug. There's pros and cons to that. Both of them are rated for 2 3/4 and 3-inch Magnum, but you get a little more flex maybe with the Saiga 12 if it doesn't work out. Yeah, it's neither here nor there. They both have strengths and weaknesses, and they both have seen Russian military police use over the years, but especially the VEPR12. And overall, this is a gun that is extremely durable, solid. There's not much to say about it, frankly. So yeah, just thought we'd have it out of the range. It's been a little while. The Saiga 12 got its time last year, so now the VEPR12 does. It's kind of one of those guns that I wouldn't say is forgotten today, but these were a big splash on the market for a long time. They were well priced and dependable and had some military pedigree. So I'm curious, what size mag would you run? I've already said I prefer the 8. And I always like to do these videos to kind of dismiss the myth about low brass and these not working. But I also know some folks have issues with it. So what I'm thinking is maybe it just needs to be broken in to run right. Just my theory. Yeah, fold it up here. It's compact for a shotgun. And there have been short barrel versions sold over the years. Fun fact, all the ones that get imported have this long barrel because it's not legal. It hasn't been since 1968 to import a Class 3 firearm for the civilian market. So if, like, say, Fime Group sold one as a short barrel, they simply cut the barrel down here in the USA at Las Vegas. That's fine. It's a shotgun barrel. It's not like there's super high tech to do so. I just thought I'd point that out because some think they came from the factory. I've also seen some that have the short barrel but then an extension put on, which is a bit much because the minimum length for shotgun is 18 inches, not 16. So, I guess 1 point for rifles there. On the other hand, shotguns can have pistol grips, so neener. But yeah, what do you think? Triggers on these are just AK triggers, so nothing to rat home about. But then again, it's a shotgun. If you could, as always, please like, share, and subscribe. Like to help us out, check out Patreon, yada yada. It's getting warm outside, so this is Nisha. Catch you very soon next time.